The sound of my mother's scream didn't echo, it shattered. One moment, the summer evening felt calm, painted with the soft orange glow of a setting sun. The next, everything broke. My little sister's ice cream fell from her hands as the group of teens shoved my brother against the hood of our family car, laughing like cruelty was a game they'd been waiting to play. When one of them raised his hand and struck my mother, so fast, so unexpected that her feet staggered beneath her, the world seemed to tilt until all I could hear was my sister's trembling cry. It was a small sound, frightened and helpless, but it was that sound that sliced through the chaos more sharply than the hit itself. It was the sound that changed everything, because somewhere out there, engines had already ignited, and the street was about to shake beneath something unstoppable. If you believe kindness, second chances, and courage still matter in this world, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to channel name right now. It truly helps stories like this reach more hearts. The trouble began earlier than that moment, long before fists and fury. We lived on a quiet street where most neighbors kept to themselves and kids rode bikes along cracked sidewalks. My brother Ethan had just graduated high school, excited to start a new chapter even though money was tight and life wasn't always gentle. My mother worked double shifts, and she rarely complained, though her eyes carried stories of exhaustion. My little sister Lily was the softest part of our family, the voice that sang to the morning birds, the hands that hugged without needing a reason. She had just turned 6. The group of older teens who troubled our neighborhood had been growing bolder each week. They weren't hardened criminals, but they loved intimidation the way careless kids love fire, dangerous because they didn't respect what it could destroy. They taunted younger children, sprayed graffiti across fences, and once threw a rock through old Mr. Harris's window as a joke. No one wanted conflict, so most people just avoided them. But fate doesn't consult the peaceful. That evening, we walked back from a small street fair a few blocks away. Ethan carried Lily on his back, and my mother held cotton candy that glowed pale under the disappearing sun. It should have been perfect, simple, warm, the kind of memory families cherish. But the teens were waiting near our driveway, their bikes sprawled across the sidewalk like traps. One of them, a tall boy with restless eyes, started mocking Ethan, trying to provoke him with a shove. Ethan kept his voice steady, trying to walk past, but another grabbed his arm. Everything spiraled. Lily started crying. My mom stepped between them and told them firmly to stop. For a moment, it worked. For a moment, there was silence. Then someone hit her. My mother fell hard, and Ethan lunged at them, but there were too many. My sister screamed again, raw, terrified. I didn't even realize my hands were shaking until I tried to pull one of them away from Ethan and failed. Cars slowed but no one stepped out. People watched, but fear trapped them in place. The world felt hopeless. Then, in the distance, something thundered. At first it sounded like a storm, low, rolling, powerful. The kids looked confused. One of them glanced down the street. And then the roar grew louder, closer, like the sky itself had cracked open and engines were spilling out. Headlights swept across the pavement. Leather jackets. Chrome glinting like fire. Engines growling in synchronized fury. The bikers arrived. Not one. Not 5. Dozens. They came around the curve in a line so tight and commanding that the teens froze before they even understood what was happening. These were not men who tolerated cruelty. These were not people who looked away from injustice. Their presence alone shifted the world around us, like the air thickened with something ancient and honorable. The first rider, a broad-shouldered man with a steel-gray beard, braked hard right beside my mother, who was still on the ground. He didn't need to shout. His voice was calm, low, and stern in a way that made silence spread like ice. The teens backed away instantly, fear unraveling their false bravado. More bikers surrounded us, blocking the teens' escape. Not touching them. Not threatening. Just there, unmovable. The leader helped my mother up gently, like lifting something fragile that deserved respect. Another biker crouched to comfort Lily. Someone offered water to Ethan, who shook with adrenaline but didn't cry. The bikers created a wall, a shield, around us. When the teens tried to slip away, the leader raised one hand and said something I'll never forget. He told them, calmly and without anger, that hurting families wasn't toughness, just a sign of empty hearts searching for meaning in the wrong places. He didn't scold them with rage. He spoke like someone who had seen pain, made mistakes, and learned what truly mattered. Some of the teens cried. Some apologized. Some ran. But the fear wasn't what changed the moment, it was the unexpected compassion in his voice. A lesson delivered by those society often judged on appearance alone. The bikers stayed with us long after the teens disappeared. They sat with my mother until she steadied. They walked Ethan through his shaking breaths. They brought Lily small candies from their pockets. Their presence was loud on arrival but strangely gentle once the danger had passed, like thunder that gives way to rain. They escorted us to our door before riding off one by one, engines echoing down the street like a promise. After that night, the neighborhood changed. The teens didn't return with the same cruelty. Some even tried making amends. And our street felt safer, not because of fear, but because hope had been restored by people who understood what loyalty and courage looked like. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and subscribe to channel name. Your support helps stories of courage and kindness reach more people. Special request, before this video ends, please comment a red heart if you believe kindness can still save the world.